The two most important days in your life. Mark Twain wrote that, and to me it has some purpose because it continues to say the day you were born and the day you figure out why you were born. At one time in my life, I wouldn't even think of that or contemplate that thought, but I thought my purpose was to play in the NHL. Then I thought my purpose was to coach in the NHL. I found out my purpose not too long ago. It was when I wrote the book. The book is described as very raw. I went real deep. I mean, I told everything. It's a tell-all, and it's not an easy subject to talk about. But I think for me, I found my purpose by doing it because having been in the NHL, you'd like to think you had some success. And the parallel in my life was all the demons that I had and had to overcome. So the apex is that I had some success in the NHL, which gives me a platform to speak. But all the things I overcame gives me something to speak about. And for me, that is my purpose in life. That's why I was born. That's why I had some success, but that's why I lived to tell my story. Believe me, when I woke up out of a coma with a bullet in my head, which I still carry today, I had to think about a purpose. Why was I spared? Why was I spared from the jugular vein? Why was I spared from the bullet? So in thinking that, in writing the book, it was the most painful thing I ever did in my life, the hardest thing I ever did in my life. I quit it several times. I returned to it, and today I can say that I'm glad I did it because the feedback I get is off the charts. I have former players, names that you would all know, have reached out. I guess what it's done is it's made people with mental illness not feel alone. And I don't want to ruin the book for you, but I do live at the end. I think it's great that I get to stand up and spread the message and try and get rid of the stigma associated with mental illness. Again, I'm grateful for having played in the NHL, and today I'm also grateful for having struggled and survived and to be able to talk about it. There's an insinuation that depression and other forms of mental illness are but symptoms of a weak mind, and I think today that's kind of an old school thought, thankfully. We're making headway, little by little. I think when I speak to some companies and corporations, a lot of it's with the human resources departments, and there's some statistics that we're all recognizing today. And in the workforce, 30 average work days per person per year lost. That's a lot. 1 in 5 Canadians, with mental illness. A lot of people don't understand mental illness if they've never dealt with it. And I don't ask anybody to understand it. Just don't judge it. We can't all understand everything that goes on with other people. But my plea is don't judge the things that you don't understand. We have a beautiful wife. That's our wedding picture. It was taken on a cliff. We were married on a cliff overlooking Lake Tahoe. It's my 4th wife, so thus the cliff seemed kind of seemed appropriate. But I'm a competitor, and 4 times you're thinking, man, it's cheaper to keep them, isn't it? But I'm truly blessed with this woman. When we do book signings, it's incredible because people that have read the book and come to the book signing, they want her to sign the book because she went through hell and back with me, and we made it. It's incredible. I give her, she's a big part of the book. It's interesting sometimes when we speak, she'll come with me because if we're speaking to a group on mental health, it's amazing to hear her side because she doesn't have mental illness, but she lived with somebody. And as you saw in the video, when I did shoot myself, I didn't lose consciousness right away. And I looked at her and said, "See what you made me do." That's pretty sick. But we survived, we overcame, and we worked, and we're doing great today. I have to do my part with my support of my wife and family, friends. I've had some great people from the Toronto area. Rick Dudley was he's an assistant GM with Montreal now. He was there for me. Steve Ludzik, former player. It's amazing. We were hockey players and coaches and that, but some people think that we're not human, that we're immune to mental illness or anything. Superman, bulletproof. Well, I might be a little bit, but all we're missing is the cape, and we're just regular folk, and it's great when you play with guys, and later on you're in different careers and you're still buddies and friends and are there for each other. Rick Dudley was assistant GM with Chicago at the time when I was suicidal, and he dropped everything. An NHL executive dropped everything and flew out to see me at my ranch. But I have to do my part. I take my medication, and I work out. I meditate, and that sounds corny, but boy, does it work for me. These are all balanced things. I'm in a 12-step program, and part of that 12-step program is being of service. It's amazing what when you're going through your stuff, and that, to be of service and to help somebody else, it gets you out of yourself. Pretty soon you feel good about yourself because you're helping somebody, but to be of service, and it can be a smile. It can be opening the door for somebody, and it can be a lot broader and a lot different levels. But being of service is very, very important for me today. Having been through what I've gone through and everything that has happened to me, I've got a little bit of knowledge now. Now that I'm in balance and my feet are on the ground, and that I think I'm doing pretty dang good. And I hope that I inspire the people. With the book, again, I went very deep. And I've been asked by a lot of the media, why did you bare your soul like that? The answer is because if I only went halfway and kind of hid some stuff, I would only help the people halfway that are so depressed or OCD or anxious. But by going all the way and bearing my soul the way I did, and remember, I was the bad guy, and I talk about how abusive verbally I was, how angry I was, and I hear that with war vets now that I talk to. They go, "Where does this anger come from?" I don't know. This PTSD stuff, it affects us at all sorts of different levels. And I had OCD and depression, anxiety, and that all happened after the jugular vein accident. I didn't realize I had PTSD until 2008. And I wasn't going to claim that. God, I got enough OCD initials and things, but I do claim it now because I went through the therapy. But what I've learned and what I know going through life, and these are very simple my thoughts, and some of them you've heard. They're good. I got 7 of them. Keep it simple, okay? But don't overthink. Get your pens and papers out if you want. These are some you might like. In life, pain is mandatory. We all know that. But suffering is optional. We all have to grieve. We all are going to feel pain. But sooner or later, we have to, that character that we develop, that we have to pull up our boots, and move forward. Find that strength. Do the next right thing. We all make mistakes. We all screw up. We can learn from our mistakes, but sometimes we dwell and we keep in it, and oh my God, that hindsight thing again, Not good. Just do the next right thing. That's fairly simple. Do the next right thing. And I mentioned character, and life is a practice of developing character. I would not be the person I am today I went through all the things I did. And everybody in this room can say the same things, Strength, we find it from adversity and overcoming. My mind is like a bad neighborhood. I never go there alone. And it's so true. If I sit and think by myself, I can spin, and I can go negative, and it's not good. I guess the message here is to share. Share your problems, cut them in half. And a lot of times, people want to help. And by helping, you're making them feel good. If they're helping you, they feel good about themselves. And you're going to feel better too. Reach out, help one another, love one another. Don't go there alone. That's what friends are for. That's what family's for. That's what coworkers are for. This is my favorite. I even named the horse Ace. Ace, A-C-E. You can use this in most of your problems, if not all your problems. Relationships, work, just life. Think about it. You got a problem, you either accept it, or you change it, or you eliminate it. We all say, screw it, but screw it doesn't work. It stays with you. The problem's still there. These are active steps. You can accept it, change it, or eliminate it. And it's very simple. Thank you, and keep winning the crazy game.
Thanks, Clint. Thank you so much, Clint. Wow.